How has hip hop prepared you for fatherhood?
On one hand, it gave me the wrong values on what to look for in a partner. So it fucked my fatherhood up because it fucked me up with a co-parent.
Welcome to the Rap Dads Show, the only show where we pull up on artists wherever they may be, have them hop in the Sprinter, and talk all things fatherhood. I'm your host, Esteban Serrano. I'm a TV producer, director, author, and father of 3. I caught up with Ryme Fest to talk about all his children, how hip-hop prepared him for the battle of fatherhood, and how rebuilding his relationship with his dad changed his life. How many kids you have, ages, things like that?
I have a 25-year-old, a 16-year-old, and I have a 14-year-old.
Okay.
2 girls and a boy.
And I want to take it back to...
But I got a lot of kids, though.
Talk about it.
Those are, man, I just told you the biological children.
Right.
I got a lot of children.
Okay.
I go to Africa, and I support schools in Tanzania and Arusha. And, you know, the people who run the schools are young people that become my children. I've been mentoring through our organization, Art of Culture, that used to be Donda's house. And I got young people through my mentorship that have stuck with me for the last 13 years. And they'll say, man, you call me little brother, little sister. I'm your son.
Wow.
Why you don't acknowledge me as your son?
Wow.
I got a young man right now, bro. The guy that's on my single, Creator, his father, when I was growing up, Tom, his father was one of the bigger kids on the block that looked out for us. He would beatbox and I'd rap and all that stuff. And he had a son named Terrell. And Terrell was on the wrestling team with my son, with my biological son. And me and Terrell started hanging out. And Terrell was estranged from his father. And I didn't know because his father and the mama was going through things. And I would take Terrell and I would say, man, when I was growing up, and I would tell him about his dad. And he'd be like, really? Man, is that who my dad is? Is that? And then me and Terrell, I say, Terrell, you sing, come get on this. And we just do music. And today Terrell is like, you my father. I got young people that are closer to me than my blood children. And so my biological children that I feel love me more than my biological children, understand me more and take more of what I got to offer than my biological children. And for me to not name them as my children would be doing a disservice.
Man.
I got a lot of children.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love that. I love that perspective, and I love, you making it known in plain statement that fatherhood extends beyond the biological. It's obvious for us to think what you are pouring into and giving these children, but what are they giving you?
The best gift that my children give me is when I see the seeds I planted grow into fruits. When I see my personality revisit me through them, when I see my advice that I gave them come back to me in my time of need, but they remembered that from 7 years ago, and now they telling that to me like, hey, man, get up, come on.
Wow.
Don't lay down too long.
Right.
You rolling backwards. When I see them say things to me that I'm like, oh, man, you converted my knowledge into wisdom.
Mm-hmm. That's all we need.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, what are they giving to me?
Yeah.
Bro, they making me, it helps me know that, like, generational wealth ain't money. Generational wealth ain't property. Ain't no man that I ever met that said he wanted to leave generational wealth for his kids and looked at it in terms of material. I never met a man that died that left that. Real generational wealth is information. Real generational wealth is love and empathy. Did you pass down moral compassion? Did you pass down information?
Right.
Your kids don't want your house. That's a burden.
Wow.
Your kids, that was your dream.
Right.
Your dream was the business that I'm going to build the business. You're doing that to be selfish and you putting your kids' name on it. They don't want that business. They want to know how to build their own business.
There it is.
It gives me chills because it disturbs me how we think that money is the replacement for training and love. We're buying into the enemy's message of wealth.
It's time to induct another father into the Rap Dads Hall of Fame. And today's inductee is Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy Q took his daughter Joy as his date to the Grammys. And to make it even iller, they wore matching pink outfits. Schoolboy took his Girl Power pink hoodie, turned it into a piece of merch that he sold online, and all the proceeds went to Girls for Change. Listen, there's girl dads and then there's girl super dads. And Schoolboy Q just raised the bar. For any guy who tries to date Joy, how you gonna outdo the Grammys? And it's this reason that we have to enshrine Schoolboy Q into the Rap Dads Hall of Fame.
What is it like for you to still be so young with children that are adults?
I love being a young father, especially like my son will be 20 at the end of the week. And, you know, the relationship that we have is so dope because he can hit me and we can talk about music or movies or books or something like that. Or, you know, he's on his spiritual journey now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember being his age trying to figure out what my path was. And so, you know, I'm young enough to remember being his age and what I went through. It's not like a far stretch for me to kind of think of, you know, what was going on at that time.
But then let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. You don't think that young people have a need? I mean, because you're talking about what's dope for you about it. Do you believe that young people have a need for their parents to be out of their generation so that they can fully grow? So, you know, one of the issues with rap music may be this is the first time that we're listening to the same genre of music and not making space or having to figure out how to make space in the same timeline. How do you think it affects our children, you know, that they're like, damn, I can't really grow into an adult because my parent is like a sibling to me?
No, that's a brilliant question, man. And I feel like I definitely give them space to explore. You know, so my older two sons are in a rock like alternative band. And I'm a rap dad. Like hip hop is everything to me. You know what I'm saying? So growing up, they had the space to explore their musical tastes. And that's where, you know, they decided, you know, to land. My pop is Puerto Rican, and he was a super big hip-hop fan. But the music that dominated our car and our home was salsa and merengue. So there was that disconnect. Well, that's Pop's music, and this is my music. But one of my favorite moments growing up was, I'll never forget this day. I was probably in 8th grade. And I was coming into the crib as my father was leaving. He used to work the late shift. So it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He's going to work. I'm coming in from school. He stops me at the steps. He's like, upstairs, under your pillow, there's an album. You didn't get it from me. If your mom catches you listening to it, I didn't give it to you. And then he went on to work.
You love that.
It was Wu-Tang 36 Chambers.
Shut up, bro. Stop playing, bro.
Come on.
That's how you was introduced to that?
That was how I was introduced to Wu, bro.
Now think about this, bro. How many people from our generation were introduced to hip-hop from their parents?
Right.
Think about what kind of gift that was.
Come on.
And maybe I'm answering my own question to you, that we can give our kids the gift of hip hop.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's like it's interesting when I talk to people, you know, not particularly on Rap Dads and about fatherhood, but just when I'm talking to artists, and oftentimes they're introduced by an older sibling or older cousin or someone, you know, like that.
Exactly.
But they have that like guided journey.
And that's what I think in hip hop our generation complains about are the misguided youth. What when we complain, we're really complaining about the ones that didn't have parents to introduce them to Wu-Tang.
There it is.
That didn't have uncles and siblings to introduce them to Black Star. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or Brand Nubians, or the things that the things that grew our character in the music. And so when we see this kind of static vibration in hip hop from the youth, it's because we see the lack of training.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we just figured out the damn thing,
there it is.
bro.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love where this conversation is headed, because it's a theme, part of a theme that I wanted to discuss with you. One of the things that you said about hip hop that it taught you to have thick skin because of the battle circuit. When you would take a L, you had to have a tough enough skin to own that, to go sharpen your skills, and then come back to the battle. How has hip hop prepared you for fatherhood?
I think when we talk about hip hop, we have to talk about it in its duality, where on one hand, it gave me the wrong values on what to look for in a partner. So it fucked my fatherhood up, because it fucked me up with a co-parent. Because I'm looking for a big booty tennis shoe boo. And then when you get that, that's what you got.
Right. Right.
And that's what your daughter gonna be. And that's what and that's the mentality. No matter how much you may grow and mature, that's that's reflecting. That's what you're reflecting. On another hand, it taught me how to think. It taught me empathy, compassion, mature, how to rise above. You know what I mean? So when we talk about what is hip hop giving me as a father, is giving me the good and the bad. It's where I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have talked to him like that and yelled at him like that and came at him like that. But okay, this is how you come back in the battle.
Wow.
It's
the ultimate battle.
It's the ultimate battle, and it with self.
Yes.
And not only with self, with future self, because when you're talking to your children, you're looking at yourself in the future. And that future self is talking back and battling back and got bars of their own for you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
like,
my God.
So how hip hop has prepared me. It prepared me to go into battle. The child is teaching me the rest.
One of my favorite quotes from my pop was that he would always say this, and I didn't understand it until I had kids. He would say, you guys are raising me just as much as I'm raising you. And I'm like, I don't understand that, because I'm taking your guidance. What you mean I'm raising you? But I understand that now. Now that I look in the mirror of fatherhood and I see this child that is me reflecting back at me, and I'm like, okay.
It's you reflecting back at you.
Yeah.
That's what your child is.
That's it.
It's you in the future. Man. And you, through how we relate to these children, we get to determine what the future looks like.
Yes.
And man, one of the things I'm learning with kids, they're not going to put out anything you didn't put into them.
Ooh.
They not going to be nothing. You ain't who you thought you was. You who you thought you was. So if you didn't teach them, they not going to be. You know what I'm saying? So.
Sure. This interview ain't over yet, but I wanted to let you know that this is just a piece of a longer conversation you can check out on the Rap Dad Show podcast on all platforms. I don't want you to miss gems like this. So talk about king-making as it pertains to fatherhood.
I would never make my children kings and queens. Kings and queens need peasants and slaves. I seen them. I've helped create some. I see how scared they are. I see how broken they are. I see how selfish they are.
I love to talk about your relationship with your father. And I know, it's been a journey for you. You turned it into a film project. But talk about that dynamic of your relationship with your father early on, and then the relationship that you developed as an adult.
So early on with my father, it wasn't much of a relationship. My mother got pregnant as a young girl. I think my father was 19. My mom was about 15, 16. And my father was spotty, in and out. Not enough that I could really know who he was. My mom used to drive me past the house he grew up in with his grandma and say, your dad grew up right there. As a kid, I had this thing in my head. Every time she did that and drove me past the house and say, your dad grew up right there, in my mind, I said, I'm going to buy that house when I grow up. I'm going to buy that. That's my inheritance. I'm going to take it. Fuck him. I'm taking it. And I thought I was doing something to him. I thought I'll show you guys.
Right.
When I got the opportunity and I actually purchased the house my dad grew up in, and I sat in there and I was like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what this is. This don't even feel right. Who is these people? And I said, I got to find him. Only he can answer these questions.
So you felt like some energy in the crib.
It was amnesia all around
Wow.
me. A world that was familiar that you couldn't remember.
My God.
And so I went looking for my father. Mm-hmm. And I had to get over these feelings of abandonment, because what I had to know is my father can't fix it. I have to be okay with him before I even meet him.
Wow. Wow.
Because whatever I encounter,
right,
I got to be willing to deal with it. But if I don't go look, it's my fault. But I got to make peace with it before I encounter it.
See, most people try that in reverse. And they're seeking closure in the relationship.
You're setting yourself up for disappointment. You set yourself up for disappointment.
What did you discover on that journey of reconnecting with him?
Somebody called me and said, yeah, I know where Brian at. He stay in the alley right in the back of my apartment building. My father been homeless for 30 years. He didn't run out on us. He fell in a hole. Sometimes as children, we always blaming parents. We don't know their story.
That's a fact.
As children, we always thinking, and then what they did to me, and boy, you better stop being ungrateful. You don't know what they had to come through for you to even be where you are. Stop playing. Stop thinking about yourself all the time. Are you okay? You eat? You got a roof over your head? You blessed. Now go help your parents.
Man.
My dad and I, we met in the library, and my dad said, I knew you was coming. And he looked in his pocket and pulled out this article that said, Ryme Fest, brand new. He said, I was telling everybody my son was a famous rapper. Nobody believed me.
Wow.
He was following me the whole time.
Oh, my God.
And I didn't know where he was or who he was, nothing. And do you know, my career wasn't doing very well. Things weren't, I wasn't healthy at that time. I was dealing with diabetes. I was bloated, didn't even know it. Things weren't going well for me. In my family, with my children, nothing was going well. But when we started that journey of shooting that documentary of my father coming back to the house and us rebuilding our relationship as we rebuilt the house he grew up in, that's when things started coming together in my life. After that documentary in my father's house went on Showtime for about 3 years. Emilio Estevez saw it and said, I'm doing a movie with Jeffrey Wright and Gabrielle Union and Michael K. Williams. I need that guy from that film in my film about homelessness. We did a movie called The Public. And Rhymefest, I want you to do all the music. And then I started doing the music, and then Black Thought called me like, why we ain't never did a song together? And then we did a song for the movie. And everything that I had ever been chasing that had been running from me started coming to me when I was healing myself. When you heal yourself, your dreams will come true. When you chase your dreams, you will tear yourself apart.
Rap Dads, thanks for watching. I know you got some gems from this episode. If so, hit that like button and share your favorite takeaways in the comments. This is just a taste of a much longer conversation you can find on your favorite podcast platforms. Tap in with us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. For fly merch and updates, check out rapdads.com and join the mailing list so you're always up to date. And remember our mantra, what's best for my child wins. God bless you and your family. Peace.